I'm going to have a go at this Cornish tin mine again. The tin mine itself doesn't exist, nor does the landscape, it's just from my imagination. I'm really sure there's a bit of a roof still left on the engine house and the chimney here. Mike Porter made a good suggestion that although I showed a lot of rocks in the original one that I did 2 or 3 weeks ago, a lot of North Cornwall, where I was on holiday last year, had crumbled very badly, leaving a huge amount of rocks and scree in the mud and the sand and the slate at Watergate Bay. Now, there hasn't been a tin mine in Watergate Bay, in my knowledge, but I think there probably was at some stage, because there was a tunnel into the cliffs, but that has long since fallen away on previous rock slides. The coaster in North Cornwall, the northwest Cornwall, down Newquay, and to Padstow is quite loose shale and big slaty sort of rocks, and when you get a lot of rain, it loosens everything and it eventually slides down over time, and that's happened. But the point Mike was making was that I had so many rocks showing, the light planes on all the rocks were about the same intensity of lightness. So good point, well picked up. I'll see if I can make with the plastic card again, but pay more attention to varying the light planes on the rocks. So let's go in. I've got lemon yellow, raw sienna, alizarin crimson, light red ultramarine, burnt umber, Payne's grey and burnt sienna, and a big cloth which you need to take the excess moisture if you're using a hake. Well, you would need it anyway, whatever brush you had. So I'm going to wet the paper all over, and I've sprayed my palette with a bit of water, so it's just to soften the surface of my paints. I don't want the water too sloppy, but enough to be able to lift out with the plastic card. Now I'm in two minds as to whether this is a bright sky, but I don't think so. The sky is not very bright at the moment. We've got a sleet shower going over. That's South London. Now I'm going to put in some sienna all over this. Now I'm going to go across the top with a light red, alizarin light red. Fairly strong. I'm going to cover it up, but I want some of it to sort of bleed through. Right, okay, let's put a bit in the water in the sea. Now, with that colour, I'm going to mix in some ultramarine and put in a cloud that's just gone over. Leave some light and some dark bits as well. Right, okay, let's just put that into there a little bit. And I'll just drag that down a little bit just to weaken it. Maybe put a smidge on the horizon there. Right, I'll reclip the paper which has expanded. Just shut my old computer down. So let's go in with some nice bluey green at the top. Various colours. I'm going to paint down my chimney. Put some umber in there. Give this a bit blue. I'll probably leach into the bit I'm trying to keep free of paint for the moment. Now let's get some nice lights in there. Just warm up as we come down. Bit of blue in there as well. This is the easy bit. Now, as we come into the foreground, we'll warm up. So your reds, all sorts of nice rich mixtures in there. Grass, a lot of grass. And I'll put in some dark rocks. I try to resist the temptation of going too mad with the rocks. I'm just mixing all the colours, apart from Payne's Grey. And then we go richer here. Mixing some grass with the rocks. Nice and light in the foreground here. Rocks. Okay, that's well, I'm going to put some in here, some scrapings. Right, let's not push that up. Right, card. Vary the angles a little bit. I'll put some scrubby sort of foliage in here. Just a little few scrapings here and there. Right, okay, so that will do for a lot of probably unrealistic rocks, rock slide falls. Just some texture. Right. Let that dry off a bit, reclip. Oops. Been for the bike ride this morning along the River Wandle. I was going to do another one similar to the one I did yesterday, but I want to do something with this. Well, I'll use a flat brush, I think, and mix up some warmer colour on some of these rocks, a bit of sienna. Try to make them just a little bit different. There's lots of colours in the Cornish rocks, lots of oxides, and we'll just put in a bit of warm shadow here and there, just with red and blue. Try to give the impression that there's some shadow in some of this. Right, hope that's a bit of an improvement. Get a bit of warm colour on some of these. Right, okay, now they will look nice when I put a bit of gorse or some sort of, I don't know what, I'm not very good on botany. I just paint an impression. So, green, burnt umber, blue, bit of yellow, and then we can just put some of this stuff in here. Glasses in there. I'm trying not to repeat myself here, but I started there, so I'll have to. Now we've got some of this hanging over the edge. I'll have to do the water. I'll do it when this is dry. Right, well, see what you think on this. Right, a little bit of calligraphy in there. I'm going to, for this, I'll find a sable mix here, swig of tea. So the light's coming from here. So what I'll do is to wet that side there. A bit of burnt umber, bit of sienna, bit of blue. Just touch it in. No, that hasn't quite worked, has it? Let's just put some water there. Right. I've got a mask in this, so I get straight edge there. Oh well, won't hurt that it's a bit ragged. Right, so got a bit of raw sienna roof. Burnt sienna, should I say. I'll put some dark in there to show some smashed tiles missing. and then a nice bit of shadow under there. And a lighter tone on here. Well, that'll do for a moment. We'll add some detail there in a minute. Now the blue, I usually use the blue and burnt sienna for my darks, but the burnt umber and blue works pretty well too. Let's just put some darker bricks in here. Bit of detail, right, okay. That'll do. A bit of blue in here. And a bit of sienna. I don't usually use a small brush for this, but no detail there, just a little bit of heavier stuff in here. Want a warmer colour for the one underneath and the other two. That's nice. And a bit of dark, bottom of that. Bit of warm. Right, that's a bit bunched really, but let's do some, while that's drying, let's do some rigger work. So I used burnt umber and the ultramarine. We can just oops, I need to do that, did I? Just want to rough that up there. I'm going to do some more. just let the brush play around with the paint, just the edge of the brush, not the tip at the moment. Right, that's dry enough there. Let's go back with the dark bits now. I don't know how that will pan out. Very similar to the other one I did. Because I don't live in Cornwall, I'm not that aware of these shapes. I haven't got any reference material. Let that dry a little bit. Let's just put some. Right, that'll do. I won't fiddle around with that anymore. Put in some bits of shrubbery. I haven't used masking fluid for a long time. I'm not a lover of masking fluid. If you can paint, if I can paint round a subject like that, I'm sure you can. Right, let's just put a bit of around the back of that building. Let's just highlight that edge there. Okay. Right, I'll just put a bit of bluey grey sky, sea in. Paint around the edges. Leave some lights on the water to stand for waves and light catching. I think to be a good sea painter you need to live by the coast and study it. I'm surrounded by landscape and I have to rely on memories and photographs that I've taken on holidays. Okay, that'll do for that. Right, well, not a lot I can do with that now. I'm just going to sign it, put it in the blue mount, and we'll see. I might put a figure in. Okay, some brave birds. Bit of detail in the sky. Right, well let's do some little figures. Find a figure brush. It's really worn out, this one. Right. So, bit of red and blue. So let's put some figures coming up here. Just walking up the hill. Does it? Right, now I'll probably go back to some mountains, Lakeland scenes next. Let's just have a look, see how that looks. I don't know, that's all right. Let me know, what do you think? What I've done really is to put this on a plateau, the building on the plateau, and put a lot more grass in and leave it untouched. Let's zoom in. We'll have a look. And so there's my little land in the distance. Not very good, but it's an afterthought. This is what we're interested in. These rocks, and hope that they're more realistic than some of the others. Don't want to put any huge shadows in there. I don't want to draw my attention. The attention is in this bit here. Oops, what am I doing? Right, well, there's my engine house coming down. I'm not displeased with it. Comment on it and let me know what you think. Right, okay. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye bye.